Today I want to teach you that after you develop your characters, you can draft possible story arcs. And I want to teach you something new about plotting your story, something that will help you whenever you write fiction from now on. Did you notice the title of the unit is Arc of a Story? Well, think about what an arc is. It goes up, and it curves at the top, and then it comes back down. And that's kind of what you want to do with your story. The author, Patricia Riley Gift, she says that the fiction writer's job is to make every part of the story so interesting that the reader can't wait to turn the page. People call it plotting, but Patricia Riley Gift, she calls it making the problem worse and worse. So that's what makes us want to keep turning the page. It's about the way your character moves through whatever is happening to him or her in the story. You think about someone like Drew in the story Sidekicked, and how we know where he was at the beginning of the story, and currently, we're not exactly sure what the problem is. One of the problems is that the Titan is not a very good superhero to him, and he's not helping him with his training, and he's not coming to rescue him. So what we have to do is we have to figure out how is he going to get over that problem. And that's what it is to be a good writer. It's to write about the problems the character has. If the characters don't have any problems, there's really no reason for them to be in a story. Okay? So the arc of a story can show you that something's going to happen, that things are going to get tough, but then things are going to change, and then the character is hopefully going to solve the problem. Then after they solve the problem, the character is a little bit different. It's kind of like how at the beginning of third grade, you were in third grade, and you had all of the problems that you had in third grade. You had to learn to get along with people, some of you were at a new school, then we all got sent home in March, and we had all these things we had to get over, and eventually third grade came to an end. And a lot of those problems, you figured out how to solve them. And you know what? Now you're a different person. Everybody's a different person when they go through problems. And you want to make sure that your characters are changed too. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look at our plot of our story. And I want to look at my story about Anne, and I want to think about what I want to happen to her. And I'm going to draw mine a little bit differently. And you're going to have to draw yours on paper unless you want to try to do it on Google Doc. And this is just one of those things, guys, where I'll trust you that you did it. You don't need to take a picture of it and send it to me. You just need to do your best and then have it in a place where you can go back and look at it. So I started my story, and I know that Anne is losing her races. That's something that I know already. And another thing that I know is that my goal, what I hope the story ends, is that Anne wins a race. I already told you that's what my goal of the story was. So I have to decide at the very beginning how I want my story to end. It's okay to write on the fly. It's okay not to plan every little thing of your story out. You don't have to have every detail ready. But you do need to understand where you're trying to get to, or your story will be rambly and it won't make sense. Things that your character does in the beginning won't have any bearing on what happens to them in the end, and you don't want that to happen. So I need to think of some things that are going to happen. All right, so right now she's losing her races. In the end, I want her to win a race. I would like for her to have one problem where she argues with her parents. I think it would also be interesting for her to get in trouble at school. Right now, I may not know what I want to happen, but I would like her to have some conflict at school. At one point, I want her to quit the team. I don't know why she's going to quit the team yet. I haven't decided that, but I think that would be a big problem, right? So far, her problem started that she's just not winning. Then she gets into arguments with her parents. Then she gets in trouble at school. Eventually, she quits the team. That's a huge problem. And then, at some point, she's going to have to return, and then she's going to win her race. So that's just a very basic kind of plot that I can have for my story. And I can return to it as I come up with new ideas. So today, what I would like for you to do is I would like for you to, on a piece of paper, I would like for you to plot out your story. Again, this is for you. This isn't for me, but you do need to do it because it's going to help you in the future as you're continuing to write your story. So you need to do some kind of an arc. You can do more of a curve or a hill, or you can do more of a pointed thing like I like to do. Or if you think you just want to do a timeline, you could always just make a timeline where you have it listed out like this in order of what you want to do. Or if you know that your story is going to take place in one day, maybe you say something in the morning before school, and then in the morning at school, and then maybe lunchtime. So maybe you have a day in mind. However you do it, you're trying to put these events in order. And you notice I didn't say a lot of specific things today. I could if I wanted to, but today my goal really is just to flesh out the ideas in terms of what I want her to what I want her to run into, what kinds of problems do I want her to have. All right? So, go ahead, grab your notebooks and make your plot maps.